Welcome to the Hoop Threads podcast here with another prospect spotlight. Our youngest and our tallest prospect spotlight to date with James DiBitetto, 2027 6'10" big, St. Mary's in Annapolis, as well as Team Durant. James, how are we feeling today, boss?
I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I was watching the challenge tournament today. I've seen you a couple times in AAU and high school kind of sparingly, so it was good to see you for an entire game today. I forget what your stat line was. It was something like 26 and 21 and 16, something like
Oh,
that.
something like
You're
that.
handling business out there. So, anyways, let's get right into it. So, talk about we're gonna go through the warm up first. So, what's the best sports drink to you?
I'm gonna have to go with fruit punch Gatorade. I've been drinking that since I was young, and so it's a classic.
PS5, Xbox, or PC?
I'd have to go with the PS5.
What are you playing on there?
The new college football game. I love it.
Okay. What school did you pick?
I'd have to go with like Virginia Tech probably.
Okay.
I want to
Gotcha.
say
What's the best basketball shoe and what's the best non-hooping shoe?
I'm gonna have to go with Kevin Durant's, and then for the non-hooping, I just do like a basic pair of flip flops. I don't really wear shoes outside.
Okay, outside the gym. All right, so give me your favorite meal. So entree, appetizer, dessert, drink, all that.
Um, I'd have to go with like a nice steak, and probably with like a side of fries and some broccoli. And then for the drink, I would just probably do like a basic water. And then for dessert, I think I'd have probably like a Reese's cheesecake or something like that.
I was gonna say it was exceedingly healthy before we got to the cheesecake part. Talk about your favorite basketball environment, other than your home court. It can be AAU or high school.
I mean, I'd probably say Peach Jam. It's just like everything's so high level there, and you sort of feel the pressure to live up to it. So it's just a great environment, really.
Okay. What's a hidden talent that you have?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I don't think I have one really, but wiggle
What'd you
my
do at
ears. I
a
don't know.
talent show?
What'd you say?
What would you do at a talent show?
I'd probably do like terrible gymnastics or something. I'm not really sure.
All right. And then last warm-up question. Tell me about your first dunk.
Um, it was actually ninth grade. It took a long time for me to sort of grow into my body, and I'd always around the rim. I'd always just like lay it up or put it back in. And my parents were like, you got to dunk. It'll be a lot of fun. And I just caught sort of like a short corner pass and just went up with it, and felt amazing, honestly.
Doing it ever since. I like it. All right. So how did you get started in the game? Did your family play?
So yeah, my dad played, my mom played, and then always growing up when I was like two or three, I'd always go to my grandparents' house. My grandpa would always watch the Wizards. Just growing up, sort of influenced me to play. And then my uncle from my mom's side always just buying me basketballs and gear and sort of influencing me to play and inspiring me to play. So
Gotcha. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Annapolis, so
Gotcha. Okay. Who do you model your game after?
I like to say myself, but overall, I go with like a Jokic, sort of like a do it all on offense, and then I hope to have like better defense than him, but his defense is probably really good for being in the NBA. So
So get right into that. I want you to self-scout. So tell me about some of your strengths and tell me about some of your weaknesses, and then I'll give some feedback.
I would say probably around the middle of the rim, hook shots, if it's posting up, offensive rebounding, and then I'd say on defense, probably just keeping my man in front of me, sort of just being good and help decisions and, just playing with energy and intensity.
Okay. I think yeah, it's pretty spot on. I think with the strengths is like you have really soft touch kind of within the paint, and then I think people will eventually see your ability to shoot it from the perimeter once
Sure.
you kind of get more in that flow and get more game experience. I think you've gotten better athletically, especially this past summer. But I think kind of building some of that core strength in your hips and your core itself will help you run a lot of those sprints. But at least you're making the sprints now end to end, which is really good. And then, like you said, I think the attention to detail and just kind of the want to on the defensive end is a good starting point. And I think eventually you'll get a lot better on that end. And I think you're also an unselfish passer too. But I think the next step will be kind of like, when you catch in the high post, looking at a guard and taking that one dribble, driving at him and getting in between his defender and him just for like an easy, DHO type shot.
Sure.
For them to get some easy looks, man. Because as soon as you start getting your guards some easy looks and you feed them, they'll start to feed you on the low block too. How do you prepare for each day, like the game day, like the day of? Like, what's your routine?
Um, you know, go down, stretch, um, sort of just focus on my body, eat some good proteins and carbs, and um, I pray before every game too, and sort of just relax myself and just go out there and have fun.
How did you choose the high school you're at? Like, who were some of the options, kind of all along, and some schools coming in late? How did you end up at St. Mary's?
So originally, the schools that were recruiting me were Spalding, DeMatha, and Archbishop O'Connell, or Bishop O'Connell. My apologies. And St. Mary's was closest, which was convenient for my family. And it's a beautiful school. The coaches are amazing. They really focus on getting better, and the gym's open every single day of the year, pretty much. So it's always an opportunity to just get going, get some work in. If it's you know head coach Trey and one of the assistants, so it's a lot of good opportunities to get better. And my teammates are great people, so it's fun to be around them and makes it enjoyable.
Okay. Talk about some differences in the game, like the game flow that you've noticed at the high school level now that you have a year of it under your belt versus the middle school level.
I mean, for middle school, I was playing rec, so it was a complete eye shocker at first. But it's just so much fast pace, um, and the physicality is on a whole nother level. So if you can't match that, then you're not going to play. So that's sort of what I've been focusing on. And even playing like EYBL, like those are NBA prospects. So that was another level in itself. So it's definitely an eye opener, and there's a lot of things to get better at.
Talk about the difference in your role between your high school team and your AAU team this past season.
I mean, for high school, I definitely say, it's more of a focal point. Coach always say like get into James. But with my AAU team, there were so many options and weapons that, if we just played together, we would win. So it was sort of just being a team player and, of course, be a team player on both ends, but being a team player, because, if you pass them the ball, they're able to make that shot and they're much more skilled. And yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Talk about a time that you faced adversity, not just this past year, just in general in your life. Talk about a time that you
Yeah.
faced adversity and some tools that you used to navigate through that time period.
My parents were away for about 2 months because of my brother's medical issues, and school and basketball. It was a lot. A lot of late nights with homework, and then early mornings getting to school. But I just tried to stay consistent and just keep a level head and not let it get to me. So pretty much it.
Tell me about your gym schedule. What parts of your game do you feel like you've been working on the most, and what do you feel like you've added since the last high school season?
I would say definitely more athleticism, and for my gym schedule, it's about getting low and um, really absorbing the contacts, and then just overall, I'm just working on my shot, um, my dribbling, and just getting more in shape to for bigger and better things. So,
What do you do that makes you stand out from the competition right now, and where do you kind of see yourself at long term as far as the type of player that you want to be?
I would say probably my scoring ability. Around the rim, I try to be as efficient as possible, and then just trying to be a good teammate. And then on defense, of course, bringing the intensity and energy. And then in the long term future, I mean, I have high goals of going Division 1, hopefully. So that all pans out. But, that's what I see myself in
Okay.
the next few years.
Tell me about a part of your game that you feel like kind of flies under the radar or is undervalued.
I would actually say my passing because you know, I think if you and your teammate are on the same page and they make like a nice cut, I think I could be able to, get the ball to them for them to get an one or, layup, whatever. So, and although it's underrated, I still think I need to work on it because it can be such a weapon in my sort of arsenal. So
Mhm. Okay. What parts of the floor, like physical spots, do you feel the most comfortable right now and then the least comfortable right now?
I'd probably say, the corners because, you're sort of facing the out of bounds, but you're also facing like a help defender. Um, that's pretty much it. And then my most comfortable spots are probably on the block down low because that's where I know I can get to work and, get the most efficient shot for me.
Okay. And you feel equally comfortable on the left block and the right block?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Rank these three in order of importance to you, like just to you specifically. So one being the most important and then kind of working your way down there, relatively speaking. Game-winning assist, game-winning bucket, game-winning defensive stop.
I'd say probably the first one, probably game winning defensive stop because, um, you know, sort of shows how much you care about the win. So two would probably be game winning assists because, you know, although you might not get the bucket, it's good to share the ball with your teammates and then probably game winning bucket. So
Okay. What are some things that you value, not just on the basketball court, but like values that are important to you on and off the court?
I'd say number one is probably my family. I'd rather be with them than hanging out with friends or whatever and doing all that. And then probably faith because, closer you get to God, I think God can really help you in tough situations. And then overall, just being, humble because a lot of times you're going to get humbled. And if you just act humble, it's not as bad when you get humbled. So,
Okay, I got you.
yeah,
So we're a long ways away from it because you're a high school sophomore, but talk to me about some of the things that you think will be important to you down the line when you're deciding between different programs to attend for your college career. As far as style of play, what type of coaching do you feel like you respond to? What type of school, public or private, big school, local, out of state? What are some things that you think will factor into your decision down the line?
I'd say personally, you know, what would my role be? And if it's a role that I think I can thrive in, then that would be you know, a high option on my list. And then I'd say, a coach that cares about is hard on his players and, cares about them. And then overall, the school where it's at, or if it's big or small, doesn't really matter to me. So
Okay. Tell me about some of your interests and hobbies off the court. What are you doing when you're not hooping?
I would say just enjoying outdoors, probably spend time with family, traveling for sure, and then just relaxing playing video games.
Any bucket list destinations for the traveling? Any cool places
I
you've been?
actually went to Colorado last weekend, so
Okay,
Breckenridge, Colorado is gorgeous. So
got you. Okay. If basketball didn't work out for you, God forbid your career ended tomorrow, what would your plan be?
I'd probably do something like the stock market. I'm very interested in ways to make money and how to invest it. So
Okay, gotcha. Give me some of your goals for this upcoming season.
I mean, overall, try to make all county, um, win a championship, and then just be consistent.
Gotcha. Okay. If someone gifted you $100,000 right now, how would you spend it?
I'd probably look to invest it and make more.
Okay, that's a good answer, man. What has been your happiest moment on a basketball court so far?
I would say probably my first dunk actually, because I remember sort of like a mental block where it was hard for me just to say, oh, I can just lay it up, get the easy 2 points, or be flashy. And when I finally did it, it was sort of just like the block just was destroyed and felt good.
Hmm. Okay. What sets the DMV apart from different areas. If you're here, you're from here, you kind of know it. But for people that are born outside of the area, aren't familiar with DMV basketball, what do you think sets us apart?
I'd say that there's like so many good prospects from here. There's a lot of great schools, public or private. And in other areas it might be, oh well, this school is very good, but we have 10 different schools that are good around here. So
Gotcha. Okay. Last question, man. Really, really appreciate the time and look forward to watching you down the line. What is your why? Why do you work so hard at the game? Why does it matter so much to you? What's really important to you? What pushes you forward? What is your why?
I would say my brother, because I know he'd do anything to play basketball again. And he pushes me every day and gives me motivation. And I love him very much. So that's why I did it.
Fantastic. Well, really appreciate the time, James. And like I said, really appreciate to watching you develop over the next couple years.
All right. Thank you so much.